Hello and welcome to today's coffee talk from Planet Fair. My name is Henrike. I have my hot cup of coffee in my hand and I'm looking forward very much to talking with Michael Elling. You have over 30 years of experiences in leadership, advisory experiences, and all that in leading corporations, big organizations, and also of all sizes. I know that. Give us like a very short intro. Who are you? What do you do? And then we will dive a bit deeper.
Yeah, thank you very much, Enrique. I'm really looking forward as well. I have as well my hot cup of coffee here, so just to say, and so enjoying that as well. Yes, looking forward. So short intro, as you said already. Yeah, 30 years. We all grow elder, so it's already over 30 years, I have to say. Experience as CHRO and in global leading companies, and so it's my personal joy, you could say. And so what I love doing is, together with my company now, is growing people, growing organizations, companies, and to combine that. And yeah, there are many success stories. Without arrogance, I might say. And so yeah, I'm looking forward to the interview, and that is what we do.
Success stories. That's what we want to hear.
Yeah.
We want to learn a bit and see a bit what you do. So if you think of a company you met shortly or anyone that you have in hand, what exactly do you actually do when you are working with a company, and what kind of challenges and questions do you encounter working with them? What's sort of the main focus that you find?
Yeah, okay, thank you. Yeah, so one thing is maybe to understand is our belief is that if you want to grow a company or if you want to grow people at the same time, of course, you need to take care of, when it comes to companies, of the leadership. It is very important that the leadership is right. That means the executive level, the board level has to be right, has to have the right skills and the right focus and so on. You have to have as well an HR value chain, which is the HR organization, HR strategy, all the processes and so on, down to compensation and benefits and so on, retention of people. That has to be right as well. And then at the end of the day, you need to make sure that your people can grow in your company. Without growth of the individual people, you will not be successful. And these are the three elements, so to say, at the end of the day, we're combining. And you're asking for an example. So one example, and that is where we got connections as well, is, for example, Puma, who are doing a great job from my point of view, at least, in the area of fair pay, and that means development of gender equal pay. We had a workshop with them and working on the HR strategy and implementation of these topics in EMEA, Europe, Middle East, Africa, and was great fun, and they're very successful in that, definitely.
Yeah, I like them too. They're a good example for many things around, especially fair pay, and already certified as well. So we know them too, and they actually brought us together. That's true. But if you look at them being already quite far, I mean, they're still on the journey. They're not finished. I think you never really finish when it's about fairness and fair pay. You have the goal of hitting zero pay gaps, but there's always more to do, and fairness isn't the same for everybody. So if you try to think of a company where you have the feeling, no, they're not really there yet, what do you feel is sort of the first challenge that the companies need to face, and how would you sort of go about that?
Yeah, so I take an example, but I don't mention the name, of course, in that in this special topic. But what I realize very often is it starts as often with the mindset. It starts with not really not being negative, but in a way not really understanding what kind of potential you have in these kind of topics. That is not only related to HR. Everybody who is working in HR knows that. That is always a little bit challenging to convince and to make clear what the contribution is in numbers and facts and so on. But there are ways to do that. But most of it, it is that the people see, for example, the fair pay as some kind of challenge and not really as an advantage. And that is what we do. For example, we turn it around. My background is I'm a lawyer as well, so we turn the legal situation, the Transparency Act, the European Transparency Act, which is already in place and which is seen by many companies still as some kind of burden. We turn it to an opportunity. What is actually what it is? It is an opportunity to create more differentiation, to build up a unique position for the company, and to grow, for example, mobilizing half of your employees, the female employees, for example, but as well the male employees, if you do it right, together. It can create a lot of power in the organization, and that is starting with the mindset is the first point, and then you get some kind of aha effects, and then it's starting.
Yeah, I see the mindset too, and often the mindset in the HR part is fine, but then the rest of the C-level, so to say, CHRO is on the fair pay road, and the rest of the C-level is sort of needs. Convincing isn't the nicest word, but sometimes it's exactly what it needs to make them.
Yeah, but we also, if I may say, we also generalizing, of course, but we in HR, we have to learn our lessons as well. It's not that the mindset is not there. Very often it is there, as you say, but very often it is as well. We need to learn sometimes how to convince and really play the business, so to say. From my personal perspective, we are part of the business. And so, of course, we are focusing on people, but it's not only focusing on people and without understanding the business. And that means you need to understand really profits as well. And you need to be able to speak that language and to translate that into profit. And if you are not able to do that, work maybe for only social-oriented company, which is fine. We are we contribute with 1% of our revenues to ESG topics, and I'm very much on a giving back level, let's say, for society and so on. But you need to, of course, be able to deal and talk and communicate with the people you are working with, and that means their purpose is profits, of course, as well. And that has to be the profit of HR, the purpose of HR as well. So we also should be able to do that.
It's always about people, but it's like when saying the people, without the people, you don't have a company. So the people are the most important asset of a company, in my view. It's like when talking on just another anecdote on the politics side with ministries. It's like I always say the Ministry for Family Affairs, Women, and so on, and then the long name follows. Is the most important because it's about the people, and without people you don't have finance, you don't have anything without the people, and that's sometimes, and they are sort of put in the corner. So that's why I say just one last thing before our time is over. You also mentioned fair play, and sometimes it's a bit of I wanted to say pay and I said play. It's a bit of a word thingy, but I have done many talks quite some years ago which I always titled "Fair Pay is Fair Play." So I'm very into that because I always took an example of saying, if you want to play fairly, then you need rules, and you need two teams, for example, with the same rule set, and you need somebody who is looking after them, an arbitrary person that is looking after that the rules are being obeyed and played by. And if you take that into fair pay, it's, in my view, the same. If you want to pay fairly, you need to have a fair rule set that everybody knows. So the employer and the employee need to know those rules. That's often not the case. And from there you go. Would you sign that version, or how would you say that? And what do you want to give, like a last idea or thought to our listeners?
Yeah. Shortly, so one point, I fully agree with what you said related to HR, but as well, we need to understand it, HR, just to point that out, that without finance also, you don't have anything to give to the people. So, it's one picture. So it's human growth, as I call it. And and that's very important. Second point is, yes, fully agree. You need to have a rule and structure set up, and you have to follow that up professionally. There is no question at all. Very important, but without, again, and coming back to the mindset and culture topics, and coming back to the people as well. Without having this mindset, and only having rules, from my experience, you will end up in the nowhere, because there is no growth without human growth at the end of the day. So when I always experience in 30 years, when you don't have the best rules in place, but you have a great mindset and the people like each other and work together, they always find positive solutions, always. If it is the other way around and you have top rules, top structures, but the people don't ally really and not really great teamwork and so on, you will never be successful. So it's human growth at the end of the day. So I sign, but culture and mindset is very important.
Yeah. Thank you, Michael. That was a perfect ending. I really like that one, to keep that in mind. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Michael, you are from the Elling International Consulting Group called Ike. I'm proud to have you as a partner, and thank you very much for this coffee talk. I look forward to more of them. Have a great day, everybody.
You're welcome. Thank you very much, Henrike. Thank you.
Goodbye.
Bye. Bye-bye.